Alright y'all, so we are back. It's your boy, Mr.BandClap, and we are back at it again with another Orisha astrology update. So randomly, I'm gonna hit y'all with these standalone Orisha updates, especially during this time that's coming up where I'm about to start getting really busy. So I may not have time all the time to do the on point Orisha tarot. So this is another type of video that that derives from what I do at the beginning of those on point Orisha tarot videos. So pretty much the way this works is I use the natal chart that is pretty much associated with what's going on today, and energetically this is pretty much going to be a bit of a synopsis, just like how I do in the on point Orisha tarot videos. And y'all know me, I always like trying new things. I always like showing y'all new types of content and stuff like that. So we'll see how this goes, shall we? All right, so let's get it. Okay, so right now the sun is in Pisces over the 8th house, and the moon is in Scorpio. So when we're formulating this tale, when we're formulating this Orisha Pataki story tale, I always base it on the moon sign and the sun sign first. So as you can see in this picture, the moon is in Scorpio and it's shining over the 4th house right now. Now this tells us a lot of things, because when we're looking at this energetically, we know that in a lot of instances Oya and Yemoya didn't really see eye to eye on a lot of different things, but Oya was always cool with her grandmother, Nana Baruku. So the way this energetic tale is going to start, this story is going to start with Oya over her grandmother's house. And since this is the 6th degree moon that's in this sign, that means that this is the baby Oya that is over here over her grandmother's house. Now the sun is in Pisces right now, so this is pretty much the baby Oya exposing and pretty much bringing to the light the things that really affect her as far as the relationship that she has with her mom. So pretty much right now you're gonna see a lot of women's true nature being exposed. You know, stuff that is going on in the home, stuff that's going on in a lot of these homes and stuff like that being exposed. And a lot of these things are going to be exposed by the youth, by the children that are living in these houses and stuff like that. And we're going to see how, if this relationship between a mother that is a Yemoya and a daughter that is a Oya is toxic, this is going to affect double fold the way she looks at herself as far as her status. If that relationship is toxic, as we can see with Taurus in the 10th house, this is what turns baby Oyas into very shrewd businesswomen that feel like if they, you know, have the right career, you know, if they have this status as this super independent type of woman, this is what's going to give her a feeling of self-improvement. You know, this is what's going to give her a feeling, you know, she doesn't feel like she's self-improving unless she's going through a bunch of routines and, you know, stuff like that. You know, because as we can see, the 2nd house is in Virgo, and we know when it comes to a lot of baby Oyas, if the relationship between her and her mother is toxic, this bleeds off into situations where the first thing that gets compromised with this baby Oya is her innocence. And a lot of times it's compromised because of a low material security. You know, I've heard a lot of stories from Oyas talking about how you know, their mother was behind them getting you know, physically, sexually, mentally abused and stuff like that as a child. So that type of toxicity is what makes this baby Oya look at things like status and money and stuff like that as a form of escapism. And the reason why I say that is because, as you can see over this 10th house in Taurus, we got Uranus here, and Uranus represents individual freedom, independence, originality, you know, ultra modernism and stuff like that. You know, so right now, if you're paying attention to what's going on, we're seeing the formulation of how these chaotic Oyas are formed, you know, and why it's so hard for a baby Oya to retain her innocence. Now also, the other thing that's affected by this is her first house in Leo. Now, this can mean a couple things. Remember when I did the video about the 7 intranquil spirits, and I talked about how the first intranquil spirit represented the bully and stuff like that. So what this means is when the relationship between the baby Oya and the chaotic illusionary Yemoya, when that relationship is toxic, this is what makes the baby Oya have a low self-esteem, you know, a low sense of self-worth, until she reaches that status that she feels that she needs to reach, that would make her feel whole again, that would make her feel like she's valued and stuff like that. So when a baby Oshun, if she has a baby Oshun for a sister, she's going to give her sister hell. She's going to be very jealous of that sister. You know, if she has a baby Oshun that she goes to school with, that she goes to class with, you know, she's going to be hating on that sister. She's going to be very jealous of that sister because of how she shines. You know, that's what the Leo in the first house, you know, you shine because of your creativity, aka Sagittarius in the 5th house. So the reason why the baby Oshun can shine the way she can shine is because she was raised by a loving Obatala that was very protective over her, so she can preserve her innocence, in turn helping her to be able to flourish in her creativity. So, you know, this is going to be something that if these baby Oyas don't have this in their home, this is why they would be jealous of a baby Oshun that has this personality of the sun, you know. And you know, this is a serious deep work. This is a very serious, very deep programming that has went on to make this so toxic. And the reason why I say that is because Pluto is 27 degrees Capricorn in the 6th house right now. You know, the 6th house is the house of routines, you know, self-improvement, working, stuff like that. So for this to be rectified, there's some deep serious reprogramming and processes that needs to be done in order for that to happen. And this is something that people who are associated with you are going to be communicating. And since this Mercury is also shining over this 4th house too, that's in Scorpio, this means that, you know, this is going to be you know, communication that's going to be behind your back. Your associates are going to be communicating behind your back, attributing the reason why you go so hard with this status and stuff like that is because of what happened to you in your home, you know, how you grew up in the home. And also you're going to attribute that to the reason why you come off as hard and, you know, as drama filled and stuff like that, with the Leo being in the 1st house. The best thing to happen to Yemoya is Shango, when you really want to think about it. Because the beautiful thing about Shango is he helps to keep his mother level-headed, because Shango is so intelligent and things like that. Because the reason why Shango shines so bright like he does is also because of his father, because of his loving and respectable Obatala. So the one thing that's going to be very, very prevalent right now, if you can see past this illusion, you're going to see how if Yemoya is in a relationship with a intelligent Shango, and this intelligent Shango is associated with Legbas who are equally intelligent, aka Gemini in the 11th house, this is what will balance Yemoya out mentally, aka Libra being in the 3rd house. And when this happens, you will see how much more powerful Yemoya really is, and how this will in turn positively affect a baby Oya when it comes to her personality, her status, the way she looks at relationships and stuff like that, as well as self-improvement. And also, this is what's going to teach the baby Oya how to also be a great mother. So at the end of the day, we got Neptune in the 8th house. So again, we're going to see how when it comes to the illusion that we're in when it comes to relationships, and why our home is so chaotic, you know, and the children suffer because of this. With Neptune being in the 8th house, you know, this is the reason why a lot of the children that has to be brought up in those type of environments You know, they go through escapism, they go through carelessness, they go through delusions, they go through deception, they go through dishonesty and things like that, because those are the negative Neptunian aspects that happens when you are raised up in a home environment that's chaotic and illusionary. And this is why there's always a power struggle in these type of situations, aka Jupiter being in the 8th house. And this pretty much explains the intensity and the potency and also the largeness of this powerful spell that's been put, you know, sent through the airwaves and stuff like that to our Yemoyas to make them wayward. And in the end, what this is seriously going to help us work on is how to love, you know, aka Venus being in Capricorn in the 6th house. So we're going to be looking at how these relationships that are toxic like this, how this can, in our older age, lead us to having a very dry heart, you know, very, very dry when it comes to love and stuff like that. It's like love is a dry routine. You know, there's no honeymoon, there's no sensualness and stuff like that in the love. And even with Mars being in Capricorn in the 6th house, you know, this is you finally realizing what the problem is and passionately working towards that goal so you can self-improve in this type of area. So at the end of the day, we're really going to be, when it comes to the men's side, really not only appreciating this, but we're going to really see why Obatala had to step in and really tell Shango that, yo, if you keep going down this road that you're going, you're never going to fully be able to reach the purpose that you were meant to reach, why you decided to come here. Yes, you are born a king. Yes, you are born a warrior and all those things. But if you don't accept this tough Obatala love, you know, this sternness, this discipline that I'm trying to put into your life, you know, you're not going to shine. You're not going to shine and be that lion, that jaw lion that we all know that you can be, you know, with the Leo in the 1st house. And also, you know, being a king, you want to have that status of high self-esteem. You know, you want to have that status of high value and things like that. So in turn, you know, this Saturn in Aquarius in the 7th house, this is Obatala telling Shango how much his North Node, which is, you know, his path, and how his status that he's been working so hard to build up, how all of those things is going to play a part in his independence and his originality and all those type of things, which is also what Uranus represents in the 10th house, which is in Taurus right now. So what does the modern Yemoya, that is lost in this illusion, you know, what does she represent right now? So right now, we're going back in time to the silent generation where it all started, back when Yemoya, Nana Baruku, and Yembo were all one. And we're going back in time to see what made that spirit spoil, you know, what happened to the great mother archetype, and what made the rift and the twist and the turn to what we have today. What made it like that? And this is what the baby Oya, this is what she wants to expose, because she knows it all. You know, she's been there through it all. She's been there through the time where Yemoya was the sea monster, you know, before Oshun was born. You know, she was there during the Dragon Age where Yemoya represented Ursula, you know, and things were dark and things wasn't so pleasant and stuff like that. And all of this trauma, all of this pent up trauma, all of these pent up dark secrets and things like that, that a lot of these women hold onto their older age, you know, this along with the 12th house in Cancer, which means that this was the version of the great mother that was always looking to retreat in the comfort of their home, because their family can help them find themselves from a spiritual point of view. They're never affected when others are criticizing them, but their moods and emotions can bring certain vulnerabilities when it comes to their behavior. Their life purpose is to have a home, a place where they can be alone and communicate with those they love the most. You know, sounding like that old school silent generation grandmother. Their personality is always going to be evolving with time. And last but not least, their compassion and sensitivity can have them giving up their own needs for others to be happy. So when this type of archetype of the Great Mother ended up getting brainwashed, and now there's this bad spirit that's in the home, and the baby Oya got to figure out how is she going to survive in this situation with this type of mother. If this baby Oya gets old and she never does that shadow work where she can clear that trauma, because we know when certain traumas and certain stresses are built up in our bodies, it causes things like swelling in many parts of the body and stuff like that. And when we're talking about Cancer in Lilith, and especially in the 12th house, this could either mean breast cancer, or, you know, because of obesity or diabetes, that type of cancer that you get where you have to cut your foot off, you know. And a lot of that was going on back in that time, because Lilith in Cancer brings up issues around dependency and codependency, and detests people that come across as needy or clingy. This is a part of themselves that they dislike, and therefore they reflect these issues onto others. The goal here for Lilith in Cancer is to learn to do things for themselves and to practice unconditional love. So if the mother that is in this house raising up this baby Oya, if she don't learn this about unconditional love and, you know, stuff like that, you know, they tend to really show those insecurities and those insensitivities and stuff like that in the home, and they can be very emotionally abusive to that baby Oya. So all in all, right now, this is the tale. This is the what's being exposed in the light, is how these baby Oyas go wayward. You know, what happens in the home, what type of mothers that will make a baby Oya go wayward. You know, the absence of the father, or the type of men that will make a baby Oya go wayward. And what's really going to be brought to the light right now is how powerful your relationship can truly be. If you're associating with someone who has strong willpower, someone who has strong self-discipline, someone who has a very strong moral background, you know, someone who's powerful, but also someone who will self-sacrifice when it comes to their family. And how on the flip side, when a Yemoya is in this type of relationship, you know, this is what's going to strengthen her impressionability. This is what's going to strengthen her inspiration. This is what makes Yemoya inspirational. This is what makes Yemoya very intuitive and things like that. You know, this is what makes Yemoya a medium and a magician, and you know, and a merchant and things like that. So that is the Orisha astrology. Remember, www.bandclaptv.com. If you would like for me to give you a reading or a consultation in this type of magnitude, my website has all of my consultations, all of my services, my music, my videos, all of that is through www.bandclaptv.com. I hope y'all enjoyed this, and until next time, peace.